The Ayatollah walked in
Khalkhali. Not Ayatollah Khomeini, Ayatollah Khalkhali. They call him the hanging judge. He was in charge of all the criminal courts and of the military drug
before
courts.
before they
After,
overthrew.
after
Oh,
he overthrew
after,
him.
so he
Yeah,
took
Khomeini
over.
put him in charge.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he walks in, little guy. So he walks in and he walks straight up to me, and there are like four more guys behind him. And then the guards that are with us already come into the room, and there's like carpets on the floor and stuff where they come in, they sit and eat and stuff like that. He walks straight into the room, walks over to me, puts his hand out to shake it, and the other guys are holding me. And he says something, they let it go, and so I go, okay. So I shake his hand. He pulls me down, and he gives me that kiss on both sides of the cheeks. Was a great sign of respect. They just don't do that to everybody. So
They he
so,
pulled you to
so he
him?
pulled me to him, and he gave me that little touch on the cheek on both sides, and then let go. And he said, "Please sit down." And they're interpreting for me.
Yeah.
He said, "Sit down." So I sat down. I got a guard here, and he's sitting over there, and they're interpreting. And he starts to tell a story about how he was put in charge of the military and the drug courts. And they called him the hanging judge because everyone went through drug. We hung him. So I figured, and I knew he was using the paper all the time. You see him on the news. I go, "Oh my gosh!" I told Khali, and I go, "Shoot, they're gonna hang us. They're here
That's
to
gotta
hang
be
us."
the craziest
Yeah,
what was going through your head when this is all
I thought they
happening?
were gonna hang us.
You're like, we're
We're dead.
cooked."
Yeah, we're gonna hang us. And Rocky and guy in the other room, I go, what the? No, he sits down and he starts to tell a story how they put him in charge of the military and drug courts. So he starts to tell me about the military experience. He says, I decide it's time for me to go to the military. So he says, I get in my car, I drive up to the first base. He goes, I got my flags on the car, which over there, did no flag. They still do it in Europe. The flags on the cars, like they're diplomats or whatever, tells what they are. He goes, we drive up and he says, no one salutes me. No respect. So he says the Pastrana had to say something and they open up and let him in. He says those guys that let him in, their uniforms they were wearing half a uniform. Their boots weren't shined. Their beards weren't trimmed. Their hair wasn't cut. They didn't look clean. He said same thing where he drove all around. He says he went to another military base, same thing happened. Went to another military, same thing happened. Went to another military base, same thing happened. So he said he went back to Tehran. He got 30 of his commanders together and said, "This is going to happen. You have 90 days." He says, "You need to get everybody cleaned up and looking just like military and trim their beards and clean their uniforms and shine their boots and all that kind of stuff." So 90 days go by. He goes back and he checks them again. He goes, okay, but not what I said. Okay, not what I different bases. He says he goes back to Tehran. He brings back the 30 commanders and 200 troops, has them all shot. That's what he said.
He's telling you this
Yeah,
story.
they say it's a true story. And so he tells me that story at the time. And then he says, I had them all shot. And he says, I never had a problem again. He goes,